The rivalries jerseys being revealed. We have a Dolphins leak. We've seen their black jerseys, which might represent Miami Knights. So a Bills uniform set in an hour. We'll see what it looks like. They'll wear it Week 5 against the New England Patriots in a Sunday night game. Checking in now with 14 teams in 14 days as we prepare for the season. We're going to go to Pittsburgh and chat with Christopher Carter, host of Locked On Steelers, for a little look at the Steelers season. The Bills will go to Pittsburgh this year and play the Steelers. Good morning, Christopher. Jeremy and Joe, thanks for taking some time today.
What's up, guys? Great to be on with you guys again.
1 week away from the season. We're excited, the Bills are hoping to take one more step, maybe two more steps. For Pittsburgh, what is it this year? It's Aaron Rodgers. It didn't go well in New York. We saw that firsthand here in Buffalo. What is the ceiling? What is it for Pittsburgh this year?
I think the Steelers are looking at potentially having an 11-win season if all things go right. And hoping, I don't think they win the division this year, but I do think that they can get themselves in a better wild card position where maybe they can get the 5th seed and play the lowest division winner of the AFC, and that would give them a chance to actually compete in the playoffs rather than getting blown out by the Ravens, the Bills, or the Chiefs as they have been the last 3 times they've been in the playoffs.
How likely do you think they are to achieve that? Not just to make it, but to win one of those games, and it could be very different, right, based on their opponent. I mean, depends on the division. If they are the 5 seed and you get an AFC South winner, it's very different than coming to Buffalo or Kansas City. So I guess for you, does it need that, or could you even see them knocking off a big team like that if things go well with Aaron Rodgers?
See, to me, it's less even about Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is the problems with Aaron Rodgers with the Jets was that they brought him in to be the guy, to be the only thing that was going to save them in that with their franchise. They paid him $40+ million. They handed him the keys. He was able to pick his coordinators, his teammates, all those factors. Right? The Steelers have done none of that. None of his coaches are with the Steelers. You look at the players they've added. Now, they wanted to add Marquez Valdes-Scantling. That didn't work through the waiver wire. But I think that what they've done is they said, hey, Aaron, just come and be part of something that you can just be a good player in and be an efficient quarterback. What's really going to determine the Steelers' success this year are 2 things: how good their defense can be with the changes that they've made, and how well their offensive line develops, because that's where all their picks have been the past few years. You look at Broderick Jones in the first round, Troy Fautanu in the first round, Zach Frazier in the second round. They've really invested in this group being better, and they've looked better in the preseason. Now they just need to show it during the year. But if they achieve those things, then I think Aaron Rodgers, all he has to do is just be an efficient quarterback. He doesn't have to be a high-volume passer. All he has to do is just kind of, hey, let's keep the interception rate down. Let's take advantage of when we see opportunities in other teams' defenses. And if he does those factors, I think that the Steelers can get to 11 wins. But again, they got to stay healthy. Jalen Ramsey, I think, plays a big factor in this and how he plays this year. But there's a lot of things. But I think that Aaron Rodgers, he's happy to be somewhere where he doesn't have to be the commander-in-chief, if you will.
14 teams, 14 days, brought to you by Northtown Automotive. Get a Northtown Engine Shield Protection Warranty on new and used vehicles. Christopher, have there been rumblings of another move coming for the Steelers? I feel like the Steelers writers that I follow have indicated that they expect something still to come.
So here's the thing. Omar Khan is looking to make a move somewhere. He wants to add a wide receiver, maybe find some offensive line depth. But they are not – like a lot of people try to say the Steelers are all in this year. The Steelers are not all in. If they were all in, they would have traded up draft picks for this year already to make some of the moves they have. They wouldn't have given up George Pickens. They wouldn't have given up Minkah Fitzpatrick. They would have said, hey, here's our second or third or first round picks for the trades that they have made for DK Metcalf and Jalen Ramsey and such. But instead, the Steelers, what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to make themselves a little bit more better for right now while still keeping the window open for the future, because their ultimate plan is to draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft class. They really like this class with Cade Klubnik, with Lenore Sellers, Garrett Nussmeier. I doubt Arch Manning is in the picture, but that's something that I think that they're, but in general, they still just really like this class. So I think that's the thing that people need to realize is that as the Steelers are looking to make a move, it's not a move that's going to be a blockbuster. Like a lot of people are saying, oh, Terry McLaurin. I'm like, first of all, Terry McLaurin ain't leaving the Commanders. That's going to get worked out. I think it could be more of like a Romeo Doubs type player, a guy on the back end of his rookie deal who's fallen down his depth chart a little bit, and his team is like, hey, we can move on from this guy for a very minimal trade swap. I think that's what Omar Khan's looking for right now, and if the Steelers make a move, it'll be something along those lines.
Yeah. Do you think that move does Gabe Davis qualify as that move? He visited in Buffalo last week after he visited with Pittsburgh, although it's been over a week since then, so I don't know.
Yeah, that was the second time they visited him, or he visited them, and it makes me wonder if his knee is okay, because that knee was what kind of got him out of Jacksonville. And now he's been there twice in Pittsburgh. Unless Omar Khan is kind of gauging to other situations, I thought they would have pulled the trigger when he last visited Pittsburgh. Of course, he could also be looking for the best situation for himself, right? Like if I get to reunite with Josh Allen, that'd be better than linking up with old man Aaron Rodgers. But I do think Gabe Davis is one of their options. I just don't know how healthy he is.
Yeah, the offense as a whole. So we talked about Rodgers a little bit. The fit with him and Arthur Smith, like, do you feel like that? How has it sounded, I guess, throughout training camp? Him being in an offense that, I mean, Smith in general, he's going to run two tight ends a lot, play action. Do you feel like Rodgers will adapt to that type of offense? It's a little different, I think, than maybe even a lot different than what he's run a lot in his career.
No, I agree. It's definitely different. I think he's willing to adapt because Arthur Smith is adapted to having Aaron Rodgers. Like in the last few years with where he's had Russell. Well, last year that really was the first year he's in Pittsburgh. But last year he had Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and they didn't use the middle part of the field, partially because they didn't trust their quarterbacks to read the middle part of the field, but they're using a lot of more middle of the field concepts that allow Aaron Rodgers to use, what's one of the best factors he's always had in his career, his cerebral ability to pick apart defenses and read what's going on. And I think that's what they're kind of relying on. Hey, Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to read some of these middle of the field routes and be a smarter quarterback than what the Steelers have had even before Arthur Smith with Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph. And that's where they're going to say, hey, we're tailoring this offense so that you can do a little bit more of those things. But still, yeah, they're still going to be using some double tight end sets. Don't be surprised if they come out in some triple tight end sets because they really like their number 3 tight end in Darnell Washington, who's been with the team for the past few years. So I do think that there's going to be some adjustment on his part. But rest assured, Arthur Smith's also adjusting to things that Aaron Rodgers wants. I watched from training camp from the early parts where Aaron Rodgers was kind of eyeing down some of the Steelers receivers and saying, like, hey, need you to be more specific in what we're doing here. But they've ironed out some details, and I really like some of the young guys they got behind DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin, a fourth-year player who's really fast, runs a 4.3 40-yard dash, and Roman Wilson, the guy who didn't get to play last year out of Michigan. He's another speedster who they've really liked. And I think that both of them, with their ability to kind of get loose against defenders, are going to be bonuses for Aaron Rodgers this year. So I do think that they got some things keyed up that'll fit his skill set.
Christopher Carter of the Locked On Steelers podcast, covering the Steelers with us, breaking down Pittsburgh. Christopher, thanks for the time, and we'll maybe chat down the line when the Bills and Steelers meet this year.
Thanks, fellas. It'll be a lot of fun.
All right. I always forget the Bills play the Steelers this year. I don't know why it just kind of sneaks by me.
Yeah, November 30th, Week 13, 4:25 in Pittsburgh.
Be a good game to go to, right?
Yeah, I've never been to that stadium for anything. It's drivable.
Mm-hmm.
November in Pittsburgh. That's not bad, right? Well, it's late November. It's the last time they were in Pittsburgh.
Is it? It's not the Tyler Kroft game, is it?
Yes,
When
that is why I was trying to
clinch on
picture
Sunday Night Football?
the Bills in that stadium, and because that game was at night, and it was a COVID year, right?
I don't know about that. No, my wife
Wasn't that
went. My
COVID?
wife went to that game where the Bills clinched the division by beating the Steelers. Tyler Kroft touchdown kind of late. Is the score like 16-9 or something?
Okay.
What is the score of that game?
17-10.
Oh, I was close. Right, 17-10.
They don't win the division that year, though.
That's the wild card year. They clinch a playoff spot. What is it?
It must be a playoff spot.
Okay,
Because that's 2019.
gotcha.
They're a wild card team at Houston, so that must have been for the playoffs. Maybe, do they also clinch a division the next year against... They beat the Steelers the next year at home.
Yeah, but that's
In December.
Yeah,
Maybe that's the clinch of the division. Did they do that back-to-back years, clinch something against Pittsburgh? I don't know.
I just remember that game being something clickable, or something clinchable, I should say.
Yeah.
Because that's why she went. It was like they can clinch if they win that game, they clinch.
It must
something.
be. It must have been for the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
They've only played. I mean, they've played 4 times in a row in Buffalo, then Pittsburgh, and then Buffalo before that. So they've only, in the last 12 years, they've only played in Pittsburgh 1 time.